Hi besties and welcome back to my trash channel. Not sure what to say, so just enjoy part 2. See ya besties. Atsumu's eyes went wide, wider than Hinata's, that practically pierced his skull. Their plan had actually worked. He assumed it would take at least a few more tries for Hinata to even bring something up about it, but it had only taken one. He wasn't sure of how to reply, his voice getting caught in his throat, still feeling the surprise at how well their plan actually worked. You mean, that's it everyone? She called out, drawing the attention of everyone in the room, cutting off Atsumu mid-sentence, which he was slightly thankful for. He wasn't exactly sure of what to reply with. Sorry I went a little over an hour. I got here late. I hope I didn't ruin anyone's plans. But anyways, you're free to go. Atsumu began to pack his stuff back up, closing his laptop and gathering his notepads and stationery before shoving them into his backpack. The air was tense and awkward. He wasn't exactly sure of what to do, and all he could think about was getting out of the room as soon as possible, and explaining every single detail to Sakuatsu. Omi. Sakuatsu looked up towards the blonde walking towards him with a smile and a wave. He waved back. He was sitting at an outside table of a cafe on their campus, eating his lunch. The blonde pulled out the chair at the opposite side of the table, resting his elbows on it. You ran off after class. I thought I lost you. I didn't run off. I just had another class to get to. What? Since when are you not in all my classes? We're in a lot of different classes, Atsumu. Either way, I don't wanna talk about my lesson. It was way too stressful. Okay. Do ya have any more today? No. Luckily I'm done for the day. That's good. I still have another class later. I need to check the time, but it's in the evening, so I'm good for now. Atsumu smiled softly towards Sakuatsu, which was surprisingly replicated from the latter. He tried to process the unusual gesture but was cut off by his own thoughts, an image of what happened earlier that day appearing in his mind. He hadn't yet told Sakuatsu about it and now seemed like a good time. Omi. What? Did I tell you about what happened earlier? No. I didn't think I did. But still, I think our plan is working. What? Already? We were only meant to be hinting. Me too. I don't know. Shoyo seems to have already caught on to us. Well, dating? Sakuatsu raised an eyebrow, stabbing a fork full of his salad, pulling it up to hover just about his red lips. Already? I dunno. He's suspicious. He knows we're like close, I guess. Really? I honestly thought it would take a little longer for him to even notice anything. Like I said, I don't know. Sakuatsu placed the fork into his mouth as he began to chew on his food. This did really seem almost oddly quick for Hinata to mention something, let alone notice it. Maybe he did still like Atsumu after all, but then why would he break up with him? Maybe he noticed how much he missed Atsumu or something. He didn't know, nor did he want to tell Atsumu any of his thoughts. The last thing he wanted to do was to get the blonde's hopes up only for it to be not true. He'd feel guilty knowing that it would make Atsumu more upset if it did happen, and knowing that it would partially be his fault. So he decided to keep it to himself. Well, it's a good sign, I suppose. Atsumu nodded, blinking for a short moment, his eyes landing on Sakuatsu's salad once they opened, his face immediately pulling an unamused expression as his lip pulled back in disgust. You're eating salad? Yes. That's disgusting. Who even are you? What's wrong with salad? What isn't wrong with salad? Are you a rabbit or something? There's nothing enjoyable about salad. It's not like it's just vegetables. It's a chicken and pasta salad. It's pretty good. Now don't discourage my salad. I like it and that's that. You have some weird taste buds then. You literally eat my food on a daily basis. I'm pretty sure you're enjoying it. Shut up. Salad is a no-no. There's nothing good about it. You said that already. Atsumu scoffed, rolling his eyes and then redirecting them directly into Sakuatsu's afterwards. Kyuumi's staring back without hesitance whilst he shoveled yet another fork full of the salad into his mouth, keeping his eyes locked with Atsumu's honey ones the whole time. He scoffed again. Yeah, disgusting. It's healthy. Do I care if it's healthy? If it tastes bad then it's not worth having. Have you ever even tried it? That's not relevant. I know it tastes bad. I can just tell. Right, well. Hi. Sorry to bother you. A girl said, walking towards them. 2 or 3 books held to her chest by one arm, the other playing with the ends of her almost black, dark hair. Both Atsumu and Sakuatsu raised an eyebrow, almost simultaneously as they looked up to the face of the girl. She had small dots of freckles and circular glasses, though her head tilted down, probably out of nerves. "Here. Do ya need anything?" Yeah, kinda." Her head turned towards Sakuatsu, who had already focused his attention back on his meal, the girl taking in a deep breath before quickly bowing her head down, her voice gaining Sakuatsu's attention. "I was wondering if you could help me." Sakuatsu looked towards Atsumu for a split second, giving him a look that said, "What the fuck do I say?" but the blonde only shrugged in reply. Of course Atsumu wouldn't be any help. He bit his lip, peeping his nervous head in the girl's direction. Sakuatsu may have been smart, but the one thing he did lack was social skills. The only reason he got to know Atsumu was because he doesn't shut up. There had never been an awkward moment between them where both of them would be lost for words. With what? She lifted her head up once again, scratching subtly at the side of her cheek. "Well, if you don't know, I'm, in one of your classes. I sit in the front row, so I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't. You're all the way at the back. It's just that, well, I'm kinda not doing well in that subject. I was wondering if you could help me." She bowed once again, Sakuatsu turning towards Atsumu, asking for help and giving him a look which said, "What do I say?" but also I wasn't paying attention. Atsumu could read Sakuatsu's expressions pretty well, mostly because he sees him for hours a day and has started to notice patterns in his behavior. "You want him to help you study?" The girl nodded her head, though not raising it, keeping it in a bowed position. "Yes, I know it's a lot, and I understand if you refuse, of course. You're in college just like me and you're probably very busy. I would just appreciate it if you could help me understand some things." Sakuatsu seemed to have the gist of what she wanted now, but that didn't mean he was any less anxious about replying. Luckily for him, Atsumu had something more to say. Maybe he was useful for some things. "Why didn't you ask me for help then? I swear you're in a couple of my classes." This time she raised her head, clutching her books tighter this time as she bit her lip. "Yes, we're in the same classes, including the one I'm, struggling in. It's just, since I'm sitting in the front row, I sometimes see the professor's computer and I only got a glimpse of his grade on some assignment. He had a really good mark. It's not that I'm calling you dumb, I just didn't see your score, that's all. Plus he seems kinda quiet and approachable. Like he wouldn't cuss me out within 30 minutes of meeting me." Atsumu laughed audibly, gathering the attention of Kiyumi, who was still processing the words the girl had just said while she raised an eyebrow, clearly unsure as to why he was laughing. "Him? Approachable? He has the nastiest attitude I think I've ever seen." Sakuatsu scoffed, stabbing the salad hard with his fork to the point where you could hear the thud of it on the table. "Shut up." Atsumu laughed again, turning back to the girl, his eyes squinting for a split moment. "I can put up to him. He's alright once you get to know him kinda. That is if you can adjust to the endless insults." Sakuatsu scoffed once again, resting his head into the palm of his hand. "Whatever. Or, don't get all defensive on me. I guess hate is your love language. Yeah. Geez, you must love me a lot then. MHM. Atsumu's eyes went wide, though he quickly shook his head, turning his head back towards the girl. This weird and confusing type of affection coming from Kiyumi was going to take some time getting used to. But he sorta liked it, knowing some part of Sakuatsu didn't hate him to his very core, but it also kinda hurt knowing that it was all probably just an act. "Right, so can you help me? I would mean the world if you could. If not, it's totally fine. I can always just go and ask someone else." Sakuatsu looked to Atsumu for some support, but before the blonde had any chance to say anything, he just blurted out what the girl wanted, out of complete nerves of course. Sure? Really? You sure you've got enough spare time?" Sakuatsu's face was clearly asking for help, glancing over to Atsumu through the corner of his eye every few seconds. "Sure? Yes, I have free time. I'm not busy." Sakuatsu didn't even know what he was saying at this point. Everything was a complete lie. He had no interest in helping her with her studies, Atsumu was hard enough to deal with already, as well as his own studies. The last thing he needed was to help some random girl he had never spoken to on top of that, but he had already said it now, and he knew he'd regret it. Rest in peace his precious free time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You have no idea how much this means to me. So when are you free? Do you want to go to my apartment or yours? I really don't mind. Or do you live with your parents or something? I don't wanna intrude. Is there anything I can do to repay you? My parents are going to be so proud when I actually pass this year now. Sakuatsu couldn't get a word in with how fast she was talking. He doubted Atsumu would even be able to get a sentence in, and that was saying something since Atsumu was a complete chatterbox. Can we go to my place? Great. Is your dorm on campus? Or somewhere else? It's on campus. She was one level up from Atsumu. She talked non-stop and suddenly he was thankful Atsumu was the way he was. He'd go insane if he talked like she did, not stopping for a single breath. But Sakuatsu put her rapid talking down to nerves, but that didn't mean the endless speech didn't make him uncomfortable. That's good. What block are you in? B. And number? 26. Floor 4. Great. When are you free? We have that class on Thursday. If you don't have any lectures after it that I can come then. I'm free then. Yes. Yes. Thank you so much really. This is going to really help me. Sakuatsu nodded. He felt like he was almost in a trance, answering yes or no depending on what would make the latter happiest. Even though he didn't care at all about how she felt, he couldn't help it. His awful social skills were not showing clearly, if not before. That's good. Great. I'll come then. Make sure you're ready for me. Thank you again and bye. I'm in a rush. She didn't even wait for a reply this time, taking off as quickly as she had arrived, only a wave to signal her departure. Sakuatsu had no clue of what just happened and barely a clue of what he had just agreed to, so he decided to verbalize his thoughts to Atsumu, his head turning to look him in the eyes. What just happened? What do you mean what just happened? You just agreed to help that girl study. I did? Yes you idiot. What were you thinking? I wasn't, don't be so hard on me. Atsumu sighed. It's fine. You're an idiot for agreeing though. Luckily you agreed to meet at our place, so I'll be there to help you out. Thanks. No problem. I wanna help you anyways. Wouldn't want Mayumi's social battery running out. That'd mean there'd be no Omi left for me. You're going to be taught too. HAA. But I'm doing decent in that class. I know. You make me proofread most of your essays. I know they're good. But it would be awkward as hell just teaching some random girl I've spoke a total of 10 words to. I see. So you want me there to make it less awkward. Sakuatsu nodded. He didn't exactly want to be left alone with her. As Atsumu said, she'd drain his social battery out and he didn't exactly want that. Teaching someone one-on-one would also feel nerve-wracking, and not something he exactly wanted to deal with. I mean, okay. Even I don't like her. She'd even drain me. Drained? You? You seem to always be hyper. I guess that's because of the amount of coffee you consume every day. It's hard to stay awake, Omi. I thought you would understand. She just seemed a little too, I don't know, pushy. And she talks too much. Sakuatsu laughed and Atsumu death glared at him return. That's bold coming from you. Shut up. I'm just saying she seems kinda annoying. You're annoying. But you love me. Sakuatsu scoffed, looking down to his salad before realizing there was nothing left. He turned his head up, his face pissed. Not actually. You still do. Well, kinda. But anyways, about that, since Hinata noticed so early on, do ya wanna make it like, more obvious? Or say we're like, dating? Sakuatsu hummed while he thought, scratching lightly at his cheeks. We could. I don't know. We can talk about it when we get back home if you'd like. Yes. Yes okay. But later. I wanna be lazy and watch Netflix until my next class. Sakuatsu chuckled while he picked his backpack up from the floor and placed it on the table. He pushed his chair out until he was able to stand before he picked up the empty container his salad once was in and walked over to the bin, dropping it inside. We getting off? I'm done eating. Actually, have you eaten? Oh right. No I haven't. Dumbus, go inside and get something you want. No Omi, you gotta buy me lunch. What? No, you eat enough of my food as it is. I'm sure you can get your own lunch. But yeah, my boyfriend Omi, it's your job to buy me lunch. Last time I checked, that's not what being someone's boyfriend means. Plus we're not dating. Not yet. Atsumu. Sakuatsu said, walking towards where Atsumu was half laid down on the couch. The blonde reached for the remote, pausing whatever he was watching as Sakuatsu took the seat just by his feet. Yes. You know I don't have an endless supply of money, right? Atsumu raised an eyebrow, shuffling his body so that he sat up straight, his legs crossed as Kayumi scoffed. Yes. Then can you stop eating my goddamn food? What? I don't eat that much. Yes you do. At this point you don't even buy your own. I do. Sakuatsu rolled his eyes, turning to also lift his legs onto the couch, sitting in the same position as Atsumu. What? You mean when you buy fatty tuna? Still buy-in food. You only eat mine. Don't even lie. Atsumu sighed, his bottom lip pulling downwards and his cheeks puffing out as his face formed a pout, though Sakuatsu showed no sympathy towards it. Okay, so I do. You want me to start buy-in my own food? Well, I would suggest that, but we already tried that. Within a few days you had run out of food and already started on mine again. Atsumu groaned, his head turning back to the point where it was almost vertical. Then what do ya want me to do then? We could start buying food together. Atsumu turned his head back straight, once again raising an eyebrow, until eventually smirked. You wanna buy groceries together? Geez, when I said we should fake date I didn't mean we should act like a married couple. I don't mean it like that. I just mean that I'd rather not have to pay for both of our food. Well, if we're married, our bank balance should be shared. I'm not marrying you, idiot. I just want you to come to the store with me from now on, and then we'll like split the costs. That means I won't shout at you for eating all of my fucking food. Wait, really? Yeah, it means you won't have to worry about eating my food. So we'll share like, everything. What? Not everything, just food. Okay. I'll pay for groceries. It's not like I'm poor or anything. Good. Only if I get to use your water bottle though. Sakuatsu scoffed, looking over to see if the blonde was being serious, only to find out that he was. What? My bottle? You have your own bottle, use that. But yours is cool. How? It's literally just black. It's plain more than anything. But the water is always cold when you put it in it, so I want it. It's just a bottle, Atsumu. There's nothing special about it. Well, how does it stay so cool? There's this thing called ice. Oh. Atsumu ruffled his hair, probably feeling like an idiot, but he shook his head, a pout still on his lips. Just, shut up. I have to get to my class, so gimme your bottle, knobhead. What? No. So much for a loving husband. We're not married. Atsumu frowned as he closed the door, settling his bag down on their coffee table before walking towards his room. He had barely even closed the door when he heard someone call out for him, though he tried his best to ignore it, laying down on his bed, his back facing the door as he pulled his phone from his pocket. Atsumu? Kayumi called, yet he received no reply. He was washing up some dishes in the kitchen. He had barely even heard Atsumu come in. The thud of his bag on their coffee table was the only thing that made him realize he was home. Atsumu. He called again, and like the first time, received no reply. He raised an eyebrow, pulling his hands from the sink and drying them off with a towel. He then began to walk to Atsumu's room, his fist raising to knock on the blonde's door. He was a little concerned. This wasn't exactly normal Atsumu behavior. Usually he'd come bother him straight away after walking in the dorm, but this time he didn't even receive a hello. Achu, you okay? Again, there was no reply, so he knocked a second time. Can I come in? He heard nothing but a grunt from the other side of the door, but it wasn't a refusal, so he took it as an indication to allow himself in. I'm coming in, okay? He pulled the handle down and pushed the door open, his eyes being met with Atsumu's back. He walked further into the room until he was standing just beside Atsumu's bed, which he crouched down next to. What's up? Nothing's up. You've said more convincing lies before. Atsumu groaned as he rolled over, his arm lazily laid next to him as his drained eyes landed on Kayumi's. hidden by the darkness of his room, though they lightly sparkled due to his opened curtain and the moon shining through it. It's nothing bad kinda. Just overreacting. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. You've gotten upset about small things in the past. Atsumu scoffed, his face emotionless as he began to move his body once again, attempting to roll back over, though he was stopped by Kayumi's hand grabbing his shoulder lightly, his eyes going wide. But it's hurting you, and it feels big to you, so I'll listen. Omi. I'm all ears at you. Atsumu's eyes screamed sadness as his nose sniffled. I miss him, Omi. I know. I had no distraction. This time, I was sat next to him, and all I could think about was how I wasn't allowed. I wasn't allowed to just put my arm around his shoulder. He's not my boyfriend anymore. And I hate that. I want him back, Omi. He makes me happy. He made me happy. Where did it all go wrong, Omi? What did I do wrong? I want my show back. I wanna be able to kiss him on the forehead in class and take his notes. I wanna be able to go to his apartment and cuddle him for the whole night. I don't know what happened, Omi. Why did he lose feelings? Where did I go wrong? What did I do? Sakuatsu lifted his hand up to cup the side of Atsumu's face, his thumb lightly caressing the side of his cheek. Atsumu melted in his warmth. He felt like he'd been touch-starved for the last god knows how long. It was comforting. His own hand reached to plant itself on top of Kayumi's, telling him not to remove it. Atsumu, do you think all of this fake dating stuff is actually good? What? Of course it is, right? It will make 𝘴𝘬𝘬𝘶𝘢 jealous, and then we'll start talking, right? Isn't that the whole point? Yes, I know, but what I'm saying is, do you think it's a good idea? Why wouldn't it be? Sakuatsu sighed, his fingers stretching to the back of his head where he caressed the part of Atsumu's head that he could actually get to, though his thumb continued its movement on his cheek. I know 𝘴𝘬𝘬𝘶𝘢 means the world to you, but right now, the only thing he's doing for you is making you sad. What? No, I love 𝘴𝘬𝘬𝘶𝘢. He makes me happy. No, Atsumu, he made you happy. But since your breakup, he makes you feel sad, and for obvious reasons. But don't you think that instead of trying to get him back and making yourself unwell in the process, you should just move on? What? No, I can't move on. I love 𝘴𝘬𝘬𝘶𝘢 so much. Getting him back will make me happy. Sakuatsu sighed once again. I'm sure it would, but I don't wanna be a downer. It's just, what if that doesn't work? What if 𝘴𝘬𝘬𝘶𝘢 doesn't want you back? Wouldn't that make you more sad? Atsumu's face dropped, showing visible pain as his whole body tensed up. I'll get him back. I know I will. I don't wanna give up. If that's what you think is right, then I'll help you. Just, if you keep feeling like this often, then we'll have to stop. What? Why? I don't wanna see you sad, Atsumu. Sometimes moving on is the better thing to do, for your sake. Atsumu inhaled and exhaled deeply. You don't wanna see me sad? Is that even a question? Of course I don't. I care about you, Atsumu. Really? You act like you hate me. You really think I'd let you take my notes or let you eat my food and even cook for you if I hated you? I care about you. I just want you to be happy. Maybe letting go of 𝘴𝘬𝘬𝘶𝘢 will help you in the long run. I still wanna try. I know. And we will. There was silence. Atsumu taking in one deep breath as his eyelids closed, embracing every little affection Sakuatsu was giving to him. He was scared to be alone. Why did 𝘴𝘬𝘬𝘶𝘢 have to leave him? He thought things were going perfectly, it just came out of nowhere. Or was he faking it the whole time? Maybe he didn't love him and was just waiting for a time to get rid of him. He just wished he had an explanation. Omi. Yes. Come here. I already am here. No, Omi, be a good husband and come here. Atsumu shuffled backward on his bed so that he was more in the center of it, lightly directing his hand to the now empty space next to him. I'm not your husband. Shut up and lay next to me. Touch-starved Omi. I don't think laying next to you is going to fix the touch-starved problem. Shut up. Just cuddle me and tell me everything will be okay. That's what husbands are meant to do, right? I'm not your husband. Just come give me affection. No. You already did a little. What's a small part more? Sakuatsu scoffed, though did as Atsumu persisted. He pulled himself up onto his bed and, although hesitantly, He laced his arms around the blonde, Atsumu returning the same back. Yeah, meant to say the next bit now. What bit? That everything is gonna be okay, of course. Oh right. Yes, everything is going to be okay, Atsu. Atsumu smiled softly as he nuzzled himself into the crook of Kayumi's neck. He felt a tingling sensation beneath his cheeks from just thinking about what the fuck he was doing. Kayumi really did care for him. He knew that now. Why was he so blind to see it? Maybe he was just too nervous to try and see through his cold tone. Yeah, maybe everything will be okay. N-. Atsumu yawned as his eyes lazily sneaked open as he woke from his sleep. He took a relaxed breath in, yawning a second time and rubbing his eyes before he began sitting up. Oh, you're awake. Atsumu's eyes widened, looking up towards the direction he heard the voice from. He was met with a familiar face, yet he was in an unfamiliar setting. He didn't know where he was, but it definitely wasn't his bedroom. Morning, love. Atsumu's breath got caught in his throat. Love? Why would Sakuatsu be calling him love? He shook his head as he continued sitting upright, rubbing his eyes a second. Atsumu's cheeks instantly heated up, Sakuatsu looking at him with a concerned expression plastered on his face. Sakuatsu was sitting in bed with him. He was shirtless, his lower half barely covered by the comforter. That alone revealed to Atsumu that he was completely naked. You feeling okay? Your legs don't hurt, right? I'm okay. Are you sure? I went down on you last night. You passed out. Atsumu's face went a vibrant red, not only from the words that just came out of Kayumi's mouth, but the hand that he just felt placed itself between his, what he just found to be bare, thighs. It was then when he noticed he was naked too. Where was he? And what the fuck had happened to Sakuatsu? I'm fine. You don't need to lie, you know. Wait, I'll go get some painkillers. No, you don't need to. I insist, Atsu. Can't have you hurting. With that, Sakuatsu shuffled off the bed and Atsumu's previous thoughts were now proven correct. He was completely naked, though not for long, as Kayumi slid a pair of shorts up his thighs and walked out of the room. Atsumu had no clue where he was. It definitely wasn't his room, nor did it look like Sakuatsu's. Where the fuck was he? Sakuatsu was acting strange, but something about his care for how he was feeling and the pet name love made his heart tingle. He had missed this feeling, but that didn't mean he wasn't acting fucking weird. It wasn't long before Sakuatsu came back, a pill in one hand and a glass of water in the other. Atsumu's eyes widened for the third time as they settled on Kayumi's bare chest. Holy fuck, abs. There's no way Sakuatsu had those kinds of abs. He'd only seen him work out once before, but holy shit, he was hot. Here, take this. I am okay, Sakuatsu said, leaning over the bed to pass him the items. Atsumu felt compelled to do as he was told, placing the pill in his mouth before using the water to help him swallow it. You should start to feel better soon. Sakuatsu didn't move even a millimeter from his place, hovering just above Atsumu, the blonde's cheeks flushing a dangerous red over how close they were together. What had gotten into him? But whatever it was nice. He wasn't sure what he was feeling himself. Fuck. I love you so much, Atsu. Thank you for everything you do for me. He spoke, pulling Atsumu into a tight embrace that Atsumu hesitantly yet quickly returned. I love you, too. His heart was beating so fast in his chest. He loved the feeling of Sakuatsu's arms wrapped tightly around him, and the I love you only made his cheeks bulge a deeper red. Sakuatsu pulled away slightly, his hand reaching up to cup the side of Atsumu's face, a soft smile at his lips that only made Atsumu's heart soar. I really do love you. You're perfect. Perfect. Sakuatsu really thought that of him? Sakuatsu's face leaning in caught him by surprise, though his body refused to move away. Maybe some part of him wanted to kiss him, or a large amount of parts of him wanted to kiss him. Kayumi's eyelids shuttered and closed, Atsumu's doing the same as his lips begged for contact. And then he woke up. The fuck was that? End of part 2 is less than 3. Hi besties. I hope you enjoyed the video. The next part should be out soon since I've already started writing it, but I don't know how frequent uploading is going to be after that since school exists. I'm gonna try and post once every 3 or 4 days if I can though. That's my aim at least. Anyways, Have a great day everyone, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye besties.